Hey everyone, first of all, thank you so much for the love and support on my recent Minecraft animation video. I am absolutely blown away and we hit 100,000 views on that one. And that's insane. You're all amazing and honestly, it's super motivating to see how much the content is helping you all. So today, I thought I'd try something a little different. Instead of just teaching you a new trick in Blender, I'm going to break down how I created one of my Minecraft animations from start to finish. This is going to be a full breakdown from concept to rendering. So stick around because you might pick up a few tricks that could save you hours of trial and error. And trust me, I've been there. The late nights, staring at a crashed render, being stuck on a particular stage, yeah, it's all part of the process. Now, let's dive in. Step 1. Concept and design. Every animation starts with a solid idea. For this particular animation, the story revolves around Steve waking up from a nightmare, realizing he is out of arrows, and going on an epic journey to a nearby village to buy some arrows. And by epic, I mean about a 20-second montage of him traveling around different places. But anyway, upon arriving, he discovers the village has been raided. With courage, determination, and his amazing sword fighting skills, Steve fights off the attackers, rescues the villagers, and finally gets the arrows he needs. Classic Minecraft drama, right? Without some kind of story, your animation, render, drawing, design, or whatever you create will not be as interesting or as exciting. So I just opened Google Docs and started writing the story. It took a few days to write, rewrite, and adjust some stuff. And once I was happy, I was ready to move on to the next stage. But before I did, I had to break the story down into small pieces, which I would use as a guide so that it would be easier to animate and follow. Because imagine trying to animate while looking at this. This would be hard to follow, right? But now imagine trying to animate while looking at this. This obviously looks more organized and step by step, and it should be easier to follow. So how did I do it? Well, I used our dear friend ChatGPT. I went to ChatGPT and I don't remember the exact prompt, but I asked it to write a detailed step-by-step script for the animation process from the story that I wrote. I pasted the story and it wrote a nice clear scene-by-scene action script for me to follow. So I copied and pasted the text into Google Docs because I use Google Docs all the time. That way I could open this guide on my left screen and I could animate on my right screen. Yes, I am flexing the fact that I have two monitors, but they're pretty old, so I guess there is nothing to flex about. But anyway, before the animation began, I had to take care of other things first. To set the stage and build the world, I hopped into Minecraft and built a rough version of the scene. Think of it as a blueprint rather than a masterpiece, just enough to lay out the key areas where the action will take place. The focus was on composition and storytelling. Where will Steve enter? Where will the action climax? Which areas will be visible and which areas will be invisible? Which places should I focus on and which places should I ignore to save time? And so on. Answering these questions early saves on tons of time later. Also, a small note, you don't need to have the Minecraft game to make Minecraft animations. You can just download free-to-use maps online or ask your friend to send you a map. Moving on, I also needed a house for Steve, and since I am not the best builder, I decided to follow a tutorial by this channel called Gorillo and built this nice small house, which turned out really cool in my opinion. Step 2. Importing the Minecraft world. Next up, we need to bring the Minecraft world in Blender. This is where tools like Mineways or JMC to OBJ come in handy. Personally, I prefer Mineways because I've been using it for a while. Once you've got the .obj file, import it into Blender. Now a heads up, the imported world might look, well, let's say it's not ready for Hollywood yet. But don't worry, you can easily optimize the scene with a few clicks. I recommend using the free add-on MC Prep, and it's a lifesaver for prepping the materials and making your scenes look like Minecraft. You can also use another similar free add-on called MyBlend to prepare your scene. Step 3. Animation planning. Alright, here's where things get fun. And by fun, I mean mildly frustrating if you're new to this. The animation planning stage is where you decide what's actually happening in your scene. For me, this was about blocking out Steve's journey from waking up to rescuing the village. To plan this out, I used the root bones of my characters to quickly block out the key positions and camera angles. This method gave me a clear idea of the scene's pacing and flow without committing to detailed animation too early. Basically, this acts as a moving storyboard, on which you can add your animations later. For example, in this case, I moved around my camera, the character's root bones, and some small objects from time to time, to create a rough blockout of the scene. After that, it was very easy for me to start animating on top of the layout. Remember, at this stage, it's all about layout and timing, not perfection. Here's what the layout looks like. And here's what the finished animation looks like. It's very easy to add animations on top of your layout and it will save you tons of time. Step 4. Lighting and materials. Lighting is everything in Blender. Seriously, you could have the most detailed scene or a detailed model, but without good lighting, it's going to look flat. For this animation, in some scenes, I wanted a warm daylight vibe. I added a sun lamp and tweaked the angle to get some nice cinematic shadows. Also, for some scenes, I wanted a dark and cold look, for which I used MC Preps and MyBlend's sky creation tools, and then changed the time of day easily. I also animated the time of day slider to get these sweet time-lapse animations. One trick I like to use is light linking. It's a feature that lets you control which lights affect which objects. For example, I made the characters slightly brighter to draw attention to them without overexposing the background. Don't be afraid to experiment here. Small tweaks can make a huge difference. Another small detail I added was these clouds moving in the sky. I animated them sliding, switched the keyframes to linear, and added the linear extrapolation with Shift-E shortcut. That way, the clouds will move slowly for the entirety of the scene. Step 5. Animation and Refinement. Now comes the hard but fun part, the actual animation. Using the NLA, Non-Linear Animation Editor, is a game changer for managing complex animations. Break your animation into actions, swinging, jumping, turning, etc. This modular approach not only keeps things organized, but also makes it easier to adjust individual movements without affecting the entire timeline. A lot of people also use the Animation Layers add-on, which I never used but might try out at some point. For a lot of scenes, I also use my custom animation library, which is available on my Patreon. It saved me so much time, as I could just reuse pre-made actions for the characters and blend them seamlessly using the NLA editor. Here are some examples where I used my animation and the NLA editor together. If you're working on character animations, remember to use references, whether it's images and videos online or recordings of yourself acting out the motion. Whatever it is, trust me, it makes a world of a difference. Oh, and also I have tutorials about using the NLA editor and also explaining what's inside my animation library and where to buy it, linked in the description. Now, I did not use the animation library everywhere, as some scenes needed custom movements from scratch. So there were mainly 3 categories of animations, and these were 1. Pre-made animations from the library, 2. Custom movements animated from scratch, and 3. Pre-made animations from the library mixed with the custom movements animated from scratch. I will now show you examples for each of them. This is the example where I used only pre-made animations. This is the example where I animated everything from scratch from start to finish. And this is the example where I mixed pre-made walk cycle with the door closing animation animated from scratch using the NLA editor. This part took the longest, but I had a lot of fun and I learned a lot about the NLA editor and about mixing different animations together. After I completed the movements, I went around from start to finish and polished some animations, and then I moved on to the last steps. Step 6. Rendering and video editing. Rendering, the final boss of every Blender project. Before you hit that render button, make sure to double check your settings. I rendered this animation using cycles with CUDA enabled, because back when I made this I did not have an RTX GPU yet, but now I do. If you're on a tight deadline, Eevee is a great alternative as well. With each new Blender version, Eevee is getting better and better. But for this animation, I used cycles from start to finish. I also decided to add a few effects in Blender's compositor, like the mist, lens distortion / chromatic aberration, glare, and so on. Also, before I rendered my animation, I decided to do the viewport renderings so that I could import those clips inside my video editor of choice, DaVinci Resolve, and then add the music, sound effects, and other necessary edits. Viewport renders are super easy to export and they work and playback nicely in a video editor compared to fully rendered clips. So before I rendered the whole animation, I decided to viewport render all scenes and then drag and drop them into DaVinci Resolve. After video editing was done, I added the fully rendered clips on top of the viewport renders and it was ready to be exported. During the rendering stage, I also got help from some amazing artists and fellow animators who helped me render out the scenes. Shout out to Jackie, Renji, and Whisk100k. If you guys are watching this video, thank you. Your help is greatly appreciated. And a big thank you to Eagle Studio as well for these fantastic thumbnails. And don't forget the sound design. A good soundtrack and sound effects can elevate your animation to the next level. I used the YouTube audio library to get the royalty-free songs, and I hunted for some sound effects online, which I then organized into different folders. After everything was done, I rendered the full project in DaVinci Resolve and uploaded it to YouTube. And that's it. That's the process I used to create this animation. It's definitely not industry standard or a one-click solution, but if you take it step by step, it's manageable, even if you have a full-time job or other responsibilities. Take your time, stay consistent, and you can achieve the same result, or even better. I should also mention that I have detailed tutorials about concepts that I mention here, which you can find on my channel. These are things like decompositing, light linking, animation library, pose library, and animating things like walk cycles, run cycles, fights, and so much more. If you found this breakdown helpful, let me know in the comments. Also, if you have any specific questions or want me to dive deeper into a particular stage, drop a suggestion below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more Blender and Minecraft animation content. I've got more tutorials and even an animation library which you can buy and download from my Patreon, link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy blending!